Alrighty, it is 3:50 p.m. on Thursday, March 14th, 2024. And what you saw first, this is group stalking. So the entity that is monitoring documentation anticipate me using my camera and capturing the light source, which is hovering over their property while they're living at a crime scene, and they're engaging in their role, which is stalking in the path with the method of light activity, creating any activity in the engineered light. And this is exactly what they're in position, creating light activity while they open and close the door, walk around. They're monitoring while the entity is anticipating that I'm going to record another video, just like I stated moments ago. This is the group stalking. Okay. You also know that this is nothing that is being assumed. You know that because they are under what is not possibly. And this is that secret society that is targeting an American citizen, and you are not even aware of it. You're not aware of the significance of everything that they're doing. You're not aware of the environment that you are surrounded by. You're not also aware of what is the demonic behaviors that they're practicing. It's not just that it's criminal monitoring that's being conducted by a government vicariously on behalf of what are those that are assuming the same position as the target individual, meaning maintaining your right to privacy. The people of the state do not have that. They are the state. They are maintaining vicarious presence of the malicious guise under which the government is surrounding you at all times. That's the legal position of the people of the state. They are doing so in what are entirely demented methods. So they are engaging in what is satanic behaviors, which is terrorism, especially to the target individual that is aware of the fact that they're being monitored, that is subject to what is presence of this light source that's remaining over them everywhere that they go, which is a phenomenon, which is something that would ordinarily freak you out if you become aware of it. Who are you going to report that to? Who are you going to tell that to? But first of all of the entity is monitoring you. And they are looking for an opportunity to engage in criminal defamation, but also the entity is engaging in what is the pattern of conduct that defies something you can even articulate with words. Okay. So I just want to go over that. That was the P.O.C. The demon possessed the people of the state in position, anticipating my capturing this video at 3:50. And the significance of this timestamp, like I stated, and understand, it's not just the videos. I like to give videos because videos are it is just like priceless documentation, which you can analyze, you can review, you can use to understand on your own with regard to, and I mean any ordinary person and also the government, the federal government. But everything that I've been taking pictures of, everything I've been documenting. Okay. So now with what you already understand about what the entity has been doing while I'm in Los Angeles, all I'm doing is reminding you about what the entity already did. The entity already surrounded me in an environment suggesting that that's the natural environment, while group stalking on helicopter, while engaging in demonic behavioral pattern in concert with the people of the state. All right. And so this is another vivid illustration of what is not possibly the sun, not only because the light source is captured over the same venue, 2250 Archibald Avenue, which is the state facilitating venue of the Ontario Police Department in Ontario, California. Not only is that not the sun, again, as you isolate the venue, in the same way that this is not the sun, while I'm at the same location inside of the same apartment, and the sun has gone nowhere. It's gone nowhere. And you also know this isn't the sun because of the engineered light that fills my apartment. That's not sunlight, and this is not the behavior of the sun. Hence, this is not the sun. This is not the sun that's over the state facilitating venue over my head, both in the morning and then hours later in the afternoon at the same location, legally referred to as what is a facilitating venue, a state facilitating venue. This is where government actors are engaging in the pattern of conduct, the criminal pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. This environment is maintained at a state facilitating venue because they are group stalking. They are practicing a satanic targeting system in concert with those who surround. Those who surround are the people of the state. And this criminal system is underway at the Ontario Police Department in the same way that it's underway here at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, which is in no way sharing any sky space, which is in no way going to result in any sunlight inside of my room while you are looking at that light source at the same time, 3:50 p.m. in its zenith over my head at that address. If that was the sun, you know that that's not the sun because you're looking at duration of time analysis. You're looking at the fact that I traveled all over, went from the and the fact that I've got a body of evidence already showing that the entity was keeping the light source in an entirely different location for the duration of the day. For example, the Upland Public Library. It remains over the roof. Documentation already exists. All I do is I give you vivid illustration after vivid illustration, that which is insurmountable, irreconcilable with what we've been told about the nature, about the operation of the natural environment as well. This is insurmountable evidence of what is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is surrounded by what is evidence that is demonic. That is the synonym for what is weird, for what is inexplicable, for what is unnatural. It's demonic. The light activity that I'm showing you, it's demonic. All right, and these demonic methods are employed by a public entity that's monitoring you. And that's exactly the condition of the Ontario Police Department. That's exactly the criminal system underway via the corrupt law enforcement agency, the Ontario Police Department. And you also know about the Los Angeles Police Department, because that's why in Los Angeles, where I am nowhere near 2250 South Archibald Avenue in Ontario, California, at 3:50 p.m., the light source is over my head and remaining over my head. Remember, yesterday at 3:44 p.m., where I was reminding you about the Ontario Police Department group stalking by helicopter at Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, 3:44 p.m. The light source is directly over my hotel room number 277 at 344. This is just a reminder of what the entity is doing, stalking with the light source. This vantage point, my ability to see it out of my living room window, is not coexisting with what you saw yesterday at 3:44 p.m. while it's adjacent to Building 1810. And remember the climax of that documentation that was captured at that time yesterday, because when the LAPD started sounding helicopter activity, because this demon-possessed entity is very much outraged that I'm exposing it, the entity started sounding helicopter activity, and then you saw the light source go back to the side of Building 1810 that it's at in the morning. Remember that? This is not that. It's currently, let's be clear, it's 3:57 p.m. The entity was maintaining the light source adjacent to Building 1810. You're looking at it over Building 1818. I'm inside of Building 1806. Look at the map. I provided it. It's published to the Google Drive. You can look at the map. This is Building 1818. This is where you're looking at the light source. This is also Building 1818, where the light source is then keeping light activity inside of my apartment after 5 p.m. as though, the sun is going to rise and set in alignment to my apartment. But I also want to remind you, 3:44 p.m., where the sun is also not present at the same time, over 2301 South Euclid Avenue, specifically room 277 over my head. While you also have the hallmark of the Ontario Police Department group stalking in the specific environment via helicopter, while you're looking at it stationary beside me while I'm in my office yesterday at the same time. It's not up above Building 1818. I'm not down there facing this direction in order for you to see it over Building 1818. This is no misperception of depth. This is speaking to what is the light activity, where the light source is at. You're looking at it inside of my bedroom. Nowhere beside Building 1810 is any of that light activity going to result. And again, this is only analysis when you are following the illusion. The entity engages in highly unintelligent and illogical behavior and conduct with this light activity. It also appears where the light source is nowhere around in order to be the outward veneer under which light is appearing. All right. In other words, where the light source isn't even present, you're seeing concentrated light. So the entity does that. But I just want to be clear. Remember what I documented yesterday. It's adjacent to Building 1810. And this is 3:44 p.m. And in that video, the light source, because I moved, the light source went back to the side of 1810, Building 1810 North Alvarado Street, where it's at in the morning, where the entity is suggesting that that's the sun, and the sun remains adjacent to on one side of Building 1810 for approximately 3.5 hours, and it reaches the opposite side of the same building, 1810 North Alvarado Street, around 2:30, 3:30 in the afternoon. That's what the entity is engaging in. This is not that. And also, this is also not coexisting with what is also not the sun at the same time. Remaining over the Ontario Police Department. My presence at the Ontario Police Department is speaking to what is the maintenance of a light source as I leave my hotel room, for example, at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, and then I travel to on the freeway, on the roads and the highways, that maintaining a light source. This is not the operation of the sun. All right. And it's a very clear example while I'm here in Los Angeles, because I didn't go anywhere. I remain here inside of the same apartment, and you're looking at the light source, which is stationary. All right. But the sun is something which is supposed to engage in the same behavior. All it does is supposedly orbit, circulate. All right. It's not stationary. It's not hovering beside 3-story buildings. It doesn't shoot light horizontally like a laser. It doesn't magnify. It doesn't create multiple shadows. It doesn't create sunlight in its absence. That's what the entity does. All right. And it does not engage in what is moving and appearing in the position that it appeared early in the morning. So in other words, this is the sun. The sun doesn't then go back to the place where it was early this morning. For example, over that third party facilitating venue, the blue house, where the entity is rising the sun. That's the behavior that the entity engages in. You know why? Because if I go over toward that direction, that's where the light source goes. That's how you know what is stalking with the light source, stalking with light sources, the demon possessed that maintain presence in your path with any method of light, like using your vehicle. That's demonic. That's the system of group stalking. The entity is doing it on a massive scale in the environment. And it's supposed to be inconspicuous. So anyway, I want to be clear. The entity is engaging in what is the maintenance of a light source at 3:50 p.m. This is not the sun that's over the Ontario Police Department. This is exposing the Ontario Police Department as what are group stalkers. Group stalkers are demon possessed. This is satanic targeting that they engage in, and it's criminal. It's criminal. It's operated by a government. The government has no constitutional basis, has no legal authority. There's nothing under the Constitution that provides them any probable cause or any warrant or legal basis to engage in what is monitoring an American citizen. By the way, just FYI, the entity is engaging in what is a secret society, the secret criminal system, and it is in concert with the people. That's why the environment is present. All right. So it is so key to understand the environment that you're in, because this is recognizing what everyone is surrounded by, and everyone is surrounded by this. And it is also exposing the condition of those who are in this environment. It's not the natural environment. It's not normal light. It's also not normal behavior in that environment. And so this is that which is invisible is actually made plain to you. You know the significance of somebody that wants to engage in what is pacing around you under the light source, pacing all around you. Demons do that. Demons do that. They like to move this is called patrolling. They like to go back and forth and around you in relevant position. Relevant position is being in position relevant to the location of the targeted individual. That's why it's termed relevant positioning. The people of the state do this as a group in order to maintain an appearance of normalcy, but they are psychopaths who are stalking you and they want to maintain group presence. And so how do you do that? You just have one person after another, after another, after another, after another. That's what group stalking is. All right. The entity is doing it in the very specific environment, and demons that are with these corrupt law enforcement agencies are group stalking, and they're using helicopters. They're bearing weapons. They're driving fire trucks and ambulances. These are the state actors that you are going to promptly remove from the positions. They pose a threat to the lives and the safety of American citizens in this country. They are literally, again, like a pus-infected wound to American society. They are literally hand in hand engaged in criminal conduct with those who call themselves Americans. All right. Now, I've already proposed with regard to punishment, those that are not natural born citizens, those that have been given the privilege to be in this country, and you're a documented group stalker, you will be promptly removed. And it's going to do wonders for the immigration system in the state of California. It's going to do wonders for the economy. All right. That's just a matter of justice. This is the most un-American thing that you can engage in, un-American crime that you can engage in. Now, those that are natural born citizens, we will deal with those. But those that have been given the privilege to be here and want to violate the constitutional human rights of Americans, yes, you will be promptly removed. And that is by default, the prosecution for federal group stalking and monitoring. In addition to, again, facts and circumstances speak to what is federal prison, what is, other precipitating results from engaging in targeting, terrorizing, and sexually offending an American citizen in concert and on behalf of a public entity. So this is what the Ontario Police Department is engaging in, and you can look at these videos side by side. There's no reconciling. What you see over my head at the Ontario Police Department is not what you're going to see. It's not the same thing. It's not occurring at the same time. The two are not possible to coexist in addition to, the pure duration of time. 11:44 in the morning over the Ontario Police Department, and then I arrive at 3:50 p.m. and it's over the Ontario Police Department again. That's not the sun. And all you have to do is pay attention in order to catch this. That stands out like a sore thumb. That is not the operation of the natural environment. It is the surefire prosecution of the people of the state. The Ontario Police Department, like I said, the entity itself, it is caught red-handed because the government knows it has no business monitoring American citizens. The entity engages in and it relies on the people of the state. Understand, they are relying on the mask that the people of the state provide for the government. They rely on that. It's highly malicious. That is why you must understand the threat, the highly severe and unlawful threat that the people of the state pose to the liberty, to the physical safety, the overall well-being, and to the very life of the targeted individual who is subject to this system, that a government is operating necessarily in concert with those who are identified legally as the people of the state, where you have identified the facilitating venue and you have a targeted individual that is being monitored, that's being targeted, harassed by the government. Federal group stalking and monitoring. Group stalking is very real, and it's not something some individual, some group, a group of people. No, it's the government. The government is engaged in group stalking, and this is actually happening in the United States. So I will digress there. It's 4:05 p.m. If you pay attention to my documentation, because I captured several videos. I went from the Ontario Police Department to, again, an entirely distinct location, to my hotel room, and you're looking at the light source that's remaining over me from venue to venue. At no time is the sun ever going to remain stationary over one address, rising in alignment to me and setting in alignment to me. This is speaking to the obsession of the demon-possessed entity that's group stalking me. That's what this is revealing to you. That's what this engineered light is revealing to you. It's highly demented, and it is the personification of the obsessed group stalker. That obsession by an entity and a people is a threat to your life. And that obsession is a secret that they would like you not to be aware of. They would rather you be falsely depicted as one suffering from some mental incapacity. The injustice, all right? The injustice is outrageous. It's outrageous. All right. So anyway, it's currently 4:06 p.m. And I will remind you about the documentation captured on August 17, 2021. All right, because that's the pattern of conduct, and the two are not coexisting. And while I'm capturing the light source on August 17, 2021, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, while I'm capturing the ongoing pattern of conduct as I remain at Alvarado Gardens today, right now, inside of building 1806 North Alvarado Street, you have what is at no time ever the sun over the state of Florida. And that is if the natural environment actually exists. If there is only one sun, then that one sun stayed over me all day long. Okay. And the same thing happened on August 17, 2021. That one sun stayed over me all day long, because while you're looking at it, while I'm capturing it over my head and I'm showing you what is the illusion, because that's supposed to be sunlight, there's no state there. It's not leaving the state lines. It's remaining over, not only just over me in California, it's remaining directly over my apartment building, aimed inside of my apartment. Okay. There is no sun that would be over the state of Florida. But again, you're understanding the illusion. All right. Breaking down what are illusions and the reality of what is the environment that surrounds us, contrary to what we are told about the environment and contrary to the way that this environment works. All right. I want to be clear, where a government is engaged in what is federal group stalking and monitoring, it works to their benefit that you are not informed about the reality of things, by the way. All right. It is currently 4:07 p.m. and I'm inside of building 1806 North Alvarado Street. This is going toward the prosecution, the permanent removal, the federal imprisonment of not only Jason Knighton, who engaged in kidnapping, assault and battery as an entity, theft of personal property, ongoing terrorism and harassment as an entity. Remember, the state actors, they don't act as an individual. Jason Knighton's going to federal prison, but he's going to federal prison and acted on behalf of an entity. The people of the state are engaged in criminal facilitation of my kidnapping, of the theft of my property, of the assault and battery that I suffered at the hands of a state actor. The entity acts with the people. This is the threat. Understand what the people of the state represent and what they are wholeheartedly engaged in and facilitating. All right. This is speaking to the removal of that police department, though. There is no law enforcement agency that is above the law. And I will repeat it again. You can fill in whatever that department's name is. And I have exposed a handful of them, many of them. But I want to be clear, as I've exposed the handful of them, it's letting you know about all the rest of them. Because you already know what's happening in Florida is a phenomenon. Okay. All right. It's currently 4:09 p.m. and this is P.O.C.